Ethan Blackwood had built his empire with precision, discipline, and an iron will. He was known in the corporate world as a man who got what he wanted, no matter the cost. But tonight, on his wedding day, he didn't feel victorious. He felt trapped. Across the lavish ballroom, his new wife, Amelia Hart, stood with her delicate hands clasped, smiling politely at guests. To Ethan, that smile felt fake, and he didn't trust it for a second. This wasn't a marriage born out of love. It was a calculated move by both their families, two powerful business empires merging into one. Ethan had fought it at first. He had told his father, "I don't want her. She's spoiled, entitled, and probably just after my money." But his father's stern look had been final. "It's done. The board approves, and so do I. You will marry her." Amelia wasn't thrilled either. In her mind, Ethan was arrogant, cold, and incapable of seeing past his own ego. She had heard all the rumors, how he crushed competitors without mercy, how women came and went from his life like temporary accessories. She never wanted to be one of them, yet here they were, dressed in designer perfection, rings on their fingers, pretending to be the picture of happiness while resentment simmered beneath the surface. The reception felt endless. Every toast was a reminder of the lies they were telling. Amelia kept her distance, making polite conversation with guests, while Ethan entertained business associates. They barely looked at each other. When the last guest finally left, Ethan loosened his tie and walked into the honeymoon suite without a word. The room was breathtaking, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline, a bed draped in white silk sheets, and champagne waiting on ice. But the air between them was tense. "You don't have to pretend anymore," Amelia said, her voice calm but laced with exhaustion. "Good," Ethan replied flatly. "Because I'm not interested in pretending with you." She turned away, hiding the sting in her eyes. She didn't want him to see that his words hurt. "Fine. Then let's just make this marriage tolerable for as long as we have to. I'll stay out of your way, and you stay out of mine." Something about her calm defiance caught Ethan off guard. He had expected a spoiled princess to throw tantrums, but Amelia's composure was unsettling. She wasn't begging for his attention or trying to win him over, she was dismissing him entirely. Hours passed in silence until Amelia stepped out of the bathroom in a simple silk nightgown, her hair loose and falling over her shoulders. She wasn't trying to be seductive, but Ethan found himself staring longer than he should. "You're staring," she said, raising an eyebrow. "Just surprised," he muttered. "By what?" "That you're not what I expected," he admitted reluctantly. She tilted her head. "Maybe you shouldn't believe everything you hear about people." Something in her tone lingered in his mind. For the first time, he wondered if he had judged her too quickly. Later that night, a thunderstorm rolled in. Amelia sat by the window, watching the rain streak down the glass. Ethan, restless, poured himself a drink and joined her. "You like storms?" he asked. "They're honest," she said softly. "They don't hide what they are. People, they hide too much." Ethan wasn't sure why her words hit him the way they did. They sat there for a while, listening to the rain, and something shifted between them. The silence wasn't tense anymore, it was almost comfortable. When she shivered from the cool air, Ethan instinctively took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. She looked up at him, surprised. "Thank you," she whispered. In that moment, he saw her differently, not as the enemy, but as a woman who had been forced into a life she didn't choose, just like him. One glass of champagne turned into two, and their conversation grew easier. They talked about their childhoods, their ambitions, and even their fears. Ethan learned that Amelia had once dreamed of becoming an artist but gave it up to meet her family's expectations. She learned that Ethan wasn't as ruthless as people thought, he was just protecting the empire his father had built. When she laughed for the first time that night, something in Ethan's chest tightened. He realized he wanted to make her laugh again. As the hours passed, the tension dissolved into something warmer. Ethan found himself leaning closer, his hand brushing against hers. She didn't pull away. "You're not what I expected either," he said quietly. Their eyes met, and for the first time, the world outside seemed to disappear. He kissed her, not out of obligation, but out of something far deeper that he couldn't yet name. The kiss started gentle, hesitant, but quickly deepened as if they had been holding back for too long. By the time dawn broke, Ethan knew one thing for certain: he didn't despise his wife anymore. In fact, he wasn't sure he could imagine his life without her. The man who had once sworn he would never love her was now lying awake beside her, watching her sleep, wondering how he had gotten so lucky to marry the woman he never wanted.